Hey everyone, we are live for another Teach Better Conference Speaker Spotlight. We have a wonderful speaker here with us, and if you're not best friends already with Vicki, you will be after hearing all about her during this session. We are going to highlight not only her session at the Teach Better Conference, but her excitement to be at the event and everything in between. We want to make sure we offer as many of these speaker spotlight opportunities as possible to our Teach Better community as we stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, because we want you to feel confident with the sessions you add to your schedule when you attend the event October 14th and 15th. Kind of get to know who's going to be sharing the information and also learn more beyond their title, beyond their description about what you can expect to learn as an audience member, a part of these sessions. So we'll be right back to get to know Vicki in case you are not already connected with her. And we have a lot of surprises in store, so stick with us.
So right now, I want to know if you're ready to teach better.
That's the whole mission of this weekend.
Just being here ready to learn and grow and come together like this is awesome.
What are those small changes that can make you better tomorrow than you were today?
All the amazing speakers we have here, wow.
So we have a ton of people here who are published authors, who are writing about education.
Let's get out there and teach better.
Hey friends, we're back for another speaker spotlight, and we have Vicki here with us. Vicki, how you feeling so far?
I am feeling great. I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm so excited for the conference.
I'm so excited to meet you in person at the conference. I know we were chatting prior to this live talking about how fun it's going to be to kind of all be together and listen to the speakers, and there's lots of networking events. So we're going to have a great time. For our community here that might be connecting with you for the first time, would you mind telling us a little about yourself?
Thank you. I'd love to. I live in Michigan. I am currently a principal, very close to Detroit, about 15 minutes south of Detroit. I have been teaching and principaling in Michigan now for, this is my 30th year. So the first 14, thank you. I know that milestone sounds amazing, doesn't it? It's a big milestone. So my first 14 years were teaching in two different districts, both outside of Detroit. And in my second district, I worked in two different schools and I'm in the same district now. In the second school that I was in, I became the principal of that school just a few years after teaching in there. And then actually a year into that, I was fortunate enough to give birth to twin baby boys, and took my regular maternity leave with them, came back to find out that the school was closing and we're going to merge with another elementary school in Wyandotte, where I currently am. And that's where I am and have been now for the last 14 years. It's been a journey.
You know, first of all, I'm thrilled that we're celebrating this massive milestone of the impact you've been able to have in education. Shout out to the twin boys. That's incredible. Then, of course, all the hurdles that come as a principal. But I know you left out that you're a published author. You like to speak at conferences and you support education in so many ways. So tell us about your book.
I will, but I have to shout out, it's not just twin boys. They also have a big sister. I cannot not shout her out.
You're right. She would be
sister and twin boys.
Obviously, she's the coolest one. We know that.
She is the princess. So yes, I am fortunate enough and so lucky to have published with Dave Burgess Consulting in May of 2022. I wrote Lead with Instructional Rounds, which is in the Lead Like a Pirate guidebook series. And the premise around that book is taking teachers into classrooms to take a look at the strengths of their colleagues and learn from them. And when I was thinking about being at the Teach Better conference for my first time, it's my first time going, the whole idea of what we do in Lead with Instructional Rounds is that we learn to teach better together.
I love that. And I can't wait for people to have the opportunity to pick up a copy of your book in case they haven't already. We were just kind of reminiscing, and Vicki, I had this thought that I don't know that we've actually ever publicly said this. So this might be a massive spoiler, but Tara Martin and Dave Burgess are joining us at the conference. I don't think anybody knows that because they're not necessarily on a bunch of promotional items we sent out, but DBC is a sponsor, and the two of them and maybe more of their team will be at the event, including a lot of other sponsors that many of you are going to be excited to see. So kind of funny, Vicki, that not only your book publisher will be there, but another great face that continues to add to our incredible field.
Definitely. I'm so excited to see all the people that'll be at Teachbetter.
All the people. So obviously, as we prepare to see all the people, networking is a huge part of this event. For those of you who have already registered, obviously the full schedule that you all can see at teachbetterconference.com, whether you registered or not only includes sessions, but also includes 3 days of networking. So you can be social and talk to all the different people that are going to be there, whether you're going to their session or can't attend and can talk to them after the fact over beers. But everybody here needs to add your session to their schedule. So tell us a little bit about what you're sharing on.
Yes, please do. So I will be doing my session on Friday at 2 p.m. The session title is Flipping the Script on Instructional Rounds. And it really is, there's a lot of thinking around instructional rounds about looking for the problem or the deficit. And this one completely flips the script on that. And what we're doing is looking for the positive experiences in the classroom, the positive examples of best instructional practices, and talking about them, dialoguing with each other, and then contemplating, how can I take this back to my classroom with my own students and grow myself into a better teacher by looking at what my colleagues are doing. And I mentioned at the beginning, I became the principal at the school that I had been working at for 3 years. And that is really where this whole idea, I think, started to percolate. When I went into classrooms, as I became the teacher, I was so excited to just start working with teachers and developing teachers and getting into classrooms and talking about teaching and learning. And when I went into these classrooms of my colleagues, because I had worked with them for 3 years, I felt like this fly on the wall, and I was blown away and almost maybe embarrassed, or I just couldn't believe that I didn't know each of these people had these strengths. And after working with them for a few years, I had impressions of what it would be like in their classroom or what kind of teacher they were. And then when I became the principal and started going classroom to classroom, I'm like, there were so many opportunities that we've missed as teachers working in these silos and being in isolation. And I saw this greatness that I didn't know was there. And I remember thinking back then to the previous district I worked in, and I worked there for 9 years, right across the hall from a friend that I met my first year teaching, and we became best friends. And for 9 years, we worked across the hall from each other, and I never saw her teach. So that hit me hard too. Now I went in her classroom a lot, and I interrupted a lot, and I walked in and out. Sometimes there were students, sometimes there wasn't, but I never sat and just watched her do the art of teaching. And I realized that we really are missing the boat on that. So we started to explore that a little bit. And there is a lot in a deficit model, or bringing a leadership team in and let's take a look at it. And this would be more grassroots. So it'd be a group right from your school that decides they want to go in and learn from each other and bring down those silos and take a break in the chaos of their day and go into another classroom with a group of teachers and look at teaching and learning and our practices and the impact it has on student learning, and then step out and have professional conversation about it and take away a few things at the end of the day that will make us better at what we do.
Now, I know there was a lot of different topics that you could share on because of your experience, because of your passions, because of the resources I know you've already put out, the book included. Why was this the right message to share at Teachbetter 2022?
Well, I think that right now so much is changing in education, and we're coming out of this pandemic, and we were isolated in the whole world, and we're stepping back into our schools, and we're coming back to what is normal or a new normal. And I think we have to challenge ourselves not to slip back into totally normal, but how can we do what we do? How can we do right by kids, but do it better? And I think one thing that we've learned through this pandemic is when we can come together, we can do more together. Working in isolation, we are so narrow, and we can't really expand without having good, strong dialogue and being able to see some things in action. And that observation in a classroom, that low stakes, low risk, no threat, completely safe observation allows us all to look at something and then step out and talk about it. And I just think the timing's right to really do this, but do it in a way that is positive and motivating and builds up educator wellness and helps us take control of the work that we're doing. I also think right now there's just a lot of negative talk in education around teachers and the work that we're doing, and it gets really heavy on us. And I think that as we start to get out and talk positively about ourselves and see the strengths of everybody that's in the building, it gives us a whole different feeling about the work that we're doing. And if there's some external forces not always being nice, we know together we're doing that right work. And it's validating. It's celebrating to go into someone's classroom and then acknowledge what they're doing that's so great and having an impact on students.
Vicki, I know that this is going to be such an incredible opportunity for educators to learn and reflect. And I couldn't agree more that this is the time to start making these shifts, because you are promoting a community, you're promoting collaboration, you're promoting low stakes, high impact work. And I'm so thrilled that you are bringing this concept to our conference. Before we wrap up here and everyone heads over to teachbetterconference.com and make sure to add your session to their list on Friday, because they'll be there all day Friday. They got to make sure they see your session while they're experiencing the fun, and then hopefully they get to be social with you that night at the networking event.
But absolutely, I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't miss the networking event. That's the part I'm excited about as well. But tell us a little bit about why or how you came about the Teach Better conference. Is this something that you had on your list to apply for a long time? Did you stumble across it? How did you find out about Teach Better 2022?
It was more of a stumble, but I started to see it more and more on social media, and there is something about this conference that's really drawing to educators. Like, there's so much enthusiasm around the buildup for this conference. It feels very exciting, like the networking events that are scheduled right into there, and obviously are really a big part of what we do as educators is to network and is to meet people and grow together. And so that was another thing. It's also not that far. Like, I'm in Michigan and it's in Ohio. I'm like, I can get there. It's just a short little drive. So it helped that it was local too. So I hope some of my Midwest friends will make the journey and go to the Teach Better conference in Ohio.
Vicki, I think that's so cool. I love hearing about how everyone enters into the Teach Better family, and so many people, like 90% of them, are like, I don't know, I stumbled upon it one day and it just became something that I got involved in. The conference is a great opportunity for people to really get to know you as an educator, add you officially to their, professional learning network, and then hopefully continue to network with you for our entire careers, because that's the beauty of not only getting to learn from one another, but just truly get to know each other as people. And I'm so glad that you feel like you got that very important message through some of the work that's been done. And hopefully you'll get the whole vibe when we're at the Teach Better conference all together.
There's a vibe, like there's this vibe on social media. So I'm super excited and feel really lucky to be able to speak there.
You made my whole day. I'm so excited. I hope that everybody chooses to check out your session, Vicki, but also attend the networking events on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night to be social with every single person at the conference. Shout out to the work that you continue to do with your teachers, but also your book that everyone can grab at the event from Dave Burgess himself and Tara Martin. And we'll be having a grand old time here in just a few weeks. So Vicki, thank you so much for coming live with me. And then hopefully we'll be able to meet each other in person in 3 weeks.
I will look for you for sure.
It'll be so fun. It'll be so great. For everybody here, if you haven't yet registered, don't worry about it. We do have discount codes for you. Please don't pay full price, but you do need to make sure you pick up that ticket ASAP because we will unfortunately be closing registration soon. Don't forget that in your ticket price, you have food included and it's just kind of all the fun. So come join us, come hang out, and make sure you add Vicki to your schedule. Bye, friends.
So right now, I want to know if you're ready to teach better.
That's the whole mission of this weekend.
Just being here ready to learn and grow and come together like this is awesome.
What are those